Hello everyone, this is Ben Wigman, field agronomist for Beck's Hybrids in Southern Illinois. I wanted to take a little bit of time here today to talk about some things that I had been noticing in the field. I'd kind of noticed it early on in the season, and now that I'm kind of walking some of these beans right before they get harvested, I've kind of noticed it a little bit too. And that's when I'm walking these cover crop fields that may have had an instance where we planted into some high biomass situations, maybe some standing cover crops, or maybe even it was like wheat stubble, double crop beans or something like that. And I thought it was worth noting. So I'm down here today south of McLeansboro in a field of 4320 Enlist, so a new Enlist variety for us that'll be available for purchase next year. But this field out here had biomass, essentially a cover crop. I'm not exactly sure what it was out here, but basically the beans were planted into this standing cover crop. And something I wanted to point out here is when I started to dig these plants here, and I started to look at the stem, you'll notice that we have a lot of stem elongation here. So we're getting about 6 inches on that plant, roughly 6-7 inches on that plant, and another about 6 inches here on this plant also, before we're starting to get a branch or a petiole or something to where we're going to start adding pods on this plant. So I actually had looked at a couple fields this week of this instance where guys had planted into cover crops and that sort of thing, but also earlier this spring, in some of the cover crop studies we did at the Effingham PFR site, I noticed it too, where this stem elongated so much to get above that cover crop canopy in order to obtain that sunlight for proper growth. So this is just showing, that these soybeans are competing for light with this cover crop. So at that point, I kind of think, okay, well, what are ways that we can eliminate this? Because cover crops, we know, they're good for soil health. They can help with weed suppression and that sort of deal. And we've tested a lot of termination methods, whether it's chemical, where we burn it down before we plant, but still at that point, we're going to be coming in because that cover crop is still going to be standing to some sense. Tillage is an option if we wanted to do that, but a method that really kind of stands out to me is cover crop or a crimper roller, to where we roll this cover crop down flat, whether it's before or after the planter pass comes through, and we crimp that down flat so these soybeans aren't wasting energy to get up past that sunlight. So then we can still get a little bit of stem elongation down here, but we can be using all this space here to be putting on pods and nodes, which at the end of the day will add yield to our soybean field. So do I think we're losing a lot of yield from this? I don't think a lot, but I do think we are losing some yield by not being able to put on nodes here or pods here because of that competition with the biomass and trying to compete for that sunlight. So it's just something to think about if guys are thinking about cover crops. I know cover crops are kind of the new buzzword right now. But if you guys got any questions about any of this, feel free to reach out to myself or your local Beck's representative, and we'd be happy to help you. Thank you and have a great day.